training video for how to update the WordPress website for American Exchange Bank. I have on my screen here two windows. On the left, we'll see the back side of the website, and on the right, obviously, we see the front side of the website. First, you want to go to aebank.com/wp-admin. That gets you to the login screen, and you'll find your username and password on the red sheet that we sent over. And then once you get inside here, you'll be at the dashboard. There's a lot of alerts and notifications and things. You can pretty much ignore these at this point. The only thing that is important here is to remember that there are portions of the website that need to be updated regularly. Everything from plugins to WordPress, and there are some notifications about those updates that need to happen for security reasons. I don't believe American Exchange is doing updates with us. We handle that when it's on our end, but you may need to check into that occasionally for the updates. On the dashboard, first you'll see exact metrics, and this is your Google Analytics. There are several things that you can see right here on the dashboard itself. You can view all reports to see more. And certainly you can log into your Google Analytics to see all of the details of your site. And that's also on your red sheet, that username and password that we've set up for Google Analytics. But this is sort of helpful to kind of see generally the traffic that's been going on. To edit the home page of the site is a little different than all the other pages. So I like to take you there first. If you go to Appearance and Widgets, here you'll see, we're ignoring all these available widgets over here to the left. We're looking at the ones that are being used, and those are the ones on the right. Here you'll see a header right with a simple image, and that is your logo. And then as you scroll down, I'm going to zip these back up again. There's a navigation window or navigation menu, which is this navigation here at the top. And then you'll see that there's a PHP snippet, which this is actually your login. This is just some code that is your login. And that's more of the login information there. None of those things really need to be touched. Most of this actually won't need to be touched. But you will see a couple of places here where it talks about, let's keep going here. Here we go. Home bottom. These are these four images down here at the bottom. And right now they're set for ATM locations, and then we have a link, and then there's the image you can see that matches up here, and all four of them follow this pattern. Now most of the time you're not really needing to change your home page except for this big slider in the middle, but that's how you would change all those featured images, as well as you can see there's footer content. That one's actually blank. Let's keep going. There's the icons as well as the links that go over to your applications, and then there's also your phone numbers and addresses for your locations. So any of those things can be changed here in widgets, except for the big slider in the middle. And if you come over here to the left again and scroll down a little bit, you'll see revolution slider or slider revolutions. Sometimes it's one way and sometimes it's the other. And so we have one image slider that's on the website, and it's the home page slider. So we'll click on that. There's a little edit button here. Revolution slider is a pretty intense tool, so it has a little bit of a learning curve to it, but it does a lot of great things. So I'm going to open up this window just a little bit more so you can see what's going on. The important thing to remember is up here on the left is where you can find all of your slides. So if I hover over slide number 2, you can see it's that one that's actually previewing right now on the site, slide number 3, and slide number 4. And I can go to any one of those to make edits if I want to click there. And you can see there's a text box that's been added over the top of this photo. And so over here, there's the text. I could change that out if I wanted to. If I wanted to change out the photo in the background, I could click up here in the right, and there are slide options. There's actually lots of options in here, so sometimes you have to kind of hunt and peck around until you find the right thing. But this is where you find background images, and then it's set to be an image And then you can click on the media library, and I could go in here. This pulls up our library for the whole site, and then you can see a bunch of images that we have in here already. You could choose a different image if you want, or you can go to upload and upload your own file. Remember that you want those files to be just big enough but not huge. If you're uploading a huge photo, it's going to take a long time to load, so you really want your photos to be about 1200 pixels wide at 72 dpi. So just kind of keep that in mind, that if you've got a photo that's over 500, let's say 1 megabyte, for instance, if it's over 1 megabyte, that's just going to be too big. So make sure those are sort of sized appropriately. All right, so that's Revolution Slider, and you can make new slides by going here to add slide, and you can choose blank. You can also duplicate a slide if you have one that's sort of similar, but you just want to change out the background, for instance. That's this button right here. And then also you can add layers. So let's say I wanted to add some more text to this one. I could just add a layer, and there's a couple different options here. I'm going to say add a quick style, and it'll let me choose, okay, maybe this one looks good, and here's my box, and I can close out of this first of all, and then I can type in here and add my text. And then there's other things you can do too, like you notice here that we have a background color so that it's easier to read, and there are all kinds of settings here like style, where I can choose a background color, I can choose my font, my text color, how big the font is, how bold the font is. This is the bold, thin, light, regular, and so forth. So a lot of that is here under content, style, and then the other option is slide options, and then your background image. So just keep all of those in mind. Once you're done, be sure to hit save in the lower right hand corner. I'm going to go back up here to the WordPress menu and to the dashboard. I'm going to leave without saving since I didn't want to keep those changes. Okay, back again, some general messages from WordPress, not anything that we really need to deal with right now. The next thing I want to look at is editing pages. So let's go here and down on the navigation here on the left, we have one called Pages. This is where the majority of your content is, including the rates page. So let's go ahead and click on rates. I'm looking through here to see where everything's located. Okay, so on the rates page, we can see that it has, again, some messages that you can ignore here at the top for now. But right here in the center is kind of where all the action happens. So this is the title of the page, which is rates. And I'm going to open this page up so that we can view it at the same time. So here's what it looks like on the front side of the website. Here's what it looks like on the back. So it looks a little confusing right now on the back side. And essentially what we have is a box here that contains most of your content normally. And it has some style sheets. So for instance, the normal type is called paragraph. And then there are a number of headings and things that you can choose. Kind of like a basic Word, you have bold and italics and bullet points and numbers and left align, center align, right align, all those things that normally you would find in word processing. And you can process text here, and we'll take a look at one of those pages too. The rates page, however, is a little different because as you can see, there's sort of just this weird little code snippet. And what that's doing is it's telling you that there's a table on this page. And as you can see here on the front, of course, here's the table. So there's two ways to get to that. First, if we're logged in here, we can look on the left-hand side and see there's a tool called Table Press. That's where all the tables live. And so in Table Press, if we scroll down, sure enough, here's our one table. It's called Rates. If we open that up, this is the code that's running this table. So for instance, right here, and you see there's a little bit of code in each one of these that says center. You can ignore that. That's really just telling that item that's in the box to be in the center of the column. That's it. So if you wanted to make edits to this table, you could come over here and edit 3 months, 6 month, 12 month, 24 month, and you'll see that that's right here. as well as any other, the minimum balance, the interest, paid or credited, the interest rate, all of that is here. So you can make those edits. And then when you're done and you've made the change that you want to make, be sure to hit Save Changes up here at the top. Now, another thing to note is if you're logged in as a user, on the front side of the site, things change a little bit. You'll see at the top, there is a black bar where I can do quite a few things, like edit this page. I can customize things. I can get to my dashboard even from the front side of the site. You'll also see that on this page, I can just hit edit right here. And if I hit that edit, it takes me straight into the table. So it's a little bit faster to get to. You just have to make sure that you are logged in as your admin, that when you went up to aebank.com/WP admin, once you're logged in there, you start seeing some extra things that the rest of the world does not see as far as editing goes. So that's how you edit the rates on this page. Let's go on and maybe choose like a standard page like About Us, and we'll go back here to Pages. And let me see if I can just put these in alphabetical order. All right, here we go. So on the back side of this About Us page, you can see we have the title here at the top, which is About Us. And then it says the history of American Exchange Bank. That's here, and that right now is a heading 2, the second largest heading. These headings don't look the same here as they do here, but what we've done is we've set some fonts that match your brand. We've set colors that match your brand, and those are all built into these style sheets. And so when you choose heading 2, that's essentially the second largest heading. So for instance, About Us here is heading 1, the larger heading, and then this one's slightly smaller and it's blue, and it's heading 2. So most of that you won't have to change. You really want to kind of go with whatever we've got set in those style sheets because they're consistent throughout the site. And then regular text is just paragraph text from this style sheet. Then as you go down, you can also see here that you've got an edit button. If you wanted to get to this from the front side, you hit this edit button and it opens up the back side. If you wanted to add a photo here, you certainly could. Put your cursor in wherever you want it to go. Go to Add Media. I'm going to choose my media library. Going to drop in a photo. And you can see it just drops it right in the page. Now, there's a couple of options here. When I click on the photo, it may look best if I wrap that text around my photo. Looks a little bit better like that. I can also choose to center it or right align it and move that around the page. The other thing you might want to do is add a link. Let's say I wanted to link this text somewhere. I would highlight my text and click here on Insert Link. Now, if I go here to the link options, I can choose any page within the website. And so these are all the pages in the website currently. I can choose any of those and add that link. I can also just paste in a URL from elsewhere. And when you do that, if it is a third-party site that you paste in a URL for, it will bring up the message that says you are exiting this site. That's built in, that anything outside of the website will bring up the exit notifier. So just to let you know that. So we can close out of that. Also, there's some other formatting tools that are here. For instance, a button. Let's say I needed to add a button somewhere on this page. And it's linking, somewhere, something useful is happening there. So I would want to make sure, first of all, that I set my link, and I went in and I chose, maybe this needs to go to rates, and I could also name it rates. Let's make that a little more official. Click this, go here, click this, add the link. Okay, well that's fine. Now I have a link that says rates. But if I were to choose button here from the formatting, it's actually going to change that into a button. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually update this so that you can see it on the front side and this is very important, I haven't said this, update in this upper right hand corner, that's save and publish is essentially what that is. So now when I hit preview, or if I just went over here and refresh this page, either one works. You can see I have a red rates button. It's been formatted to be a button. If If I want to remove that, I can go back here, highlight, delete, be sure to hit the update button. That is really essentially most of what you'll need to edit any of the interior pages of the site. The only other thing that might be helpful is this featured image. You can see up here at the top, we have a cute picture going on with the kids. That's set in featured images. I could remove this. I could set a new one, choose it from my media library, or upload something new. And so I'll close out of that. I'm going to leave this page without saving. Okay, so back here at the beginning, the only other thing that I want to talk to you about is the navigation window. So the navigation bar up here at the top has a number of drop downs, as you can see. If you wanted to add a new page, you would go here to Pages and Add New, and it would give you that same format that we were just looking at. It'd just be a blank page where you could add in a title and start adding in all of your content here. But what's not going to happen is it's not going to show up magically in this bar. So there's another step to doing that. If you go to Appearance and Menus, that takes you into the menu editor. I tell you what, I'm going to go back. I'm sorry. Let's try one more time. Appearance. I went too fast. And Menus. There we go. Okay, there are a couple of different menus going on your site, and they're not being the social menu. You can see right here, select a menu to edit. There's social and there's main. Social is not being utilized right now except for the phone number at the top. But you can add Facebook and Instagram, any other social media icons that you'd want to in this spot. But right now we're just using it for a phone number. So the second menu is called Main. I'm going to select that. All right, here we go. This shows everything that is in your navigation menu right now. So Home, Accounts, Loans, Home, Accounts, Loans. Underneath Accounts, you can see these little indented ones here. Those are all of the drop downs within Accounts. So that's all of those options. The great thing about this menu editor is it's really easy to use. So if you had a new page, it would show up here at the top, and you could select it, add it to the menu, and don't worry, it shows up, it just goes all the way to the bottom. So it's added it, and now you can drag this wherever you want to go. So maybe I want to put it here under Resources, and I want it to be a sub item of Resources, or maybe I want it to be right in the navigation. In that case, I just bump it out right there, and then when you hit Save Menu, that will automatically show up. We're going to do that briefly here. And I can refresh this page to take a look, and sure enough, there's rates right in the menu bar. If you want to get rid of it, just click, remove, save menu, refresh this page, and you'll see that that's gone again now. So that's pretty much all of the elements of the site that you'll need to edit. Feel free to call us here at Firehouse Design if you have any other questions. Thank you.